Life Update 6, Abhiram Chaganty. It is currently, 3:13 a.m. on February 9th, and I'm in the study room of my dorm building. In the last video, I talked about fixing my sleep schedule. Clearly, I have not done that. I've been up mainly due to tonight there was UFC, or I should say last night, UFC was on, so I was at the frat house watching the fights with some of my friends, and I was practicing on a DJ board that one of my friends has. I've been really into the idea of maybe getting into DJing. I think that's super cool. I always I'm not proud of it, but now I've realized how cool it is to DJ because I definitely used to downplay the whole art of it in the past, but I came across these videos on YouTube, and it was Virgil. He was DJing the Bird's Eye View tour, Travis's Birds tour, and a Louis Vuitton after party. And those two videos really stuck out to me because Virgil was really cultivating the vibes of the environment, right? Like the sounds he was playing and his whole mix on that opener for Trav versus the Louis Vuitton after party, completely different things. And he probably had some playlist curator and all that, but even if he did or didn't, I don't think it really matters. Just the way he was going about it, and I think that's the art of it, right? Is you don't have to be the guy with the microphone that's making songs, but you're controlling the tempo, and that's something that I'm really into, and that's why I've been trying to get into DJing. That's kind of been the thing this week. Couple things this week is it seems like every week I'm bringing up something new, but they're constantly getting their time, their care. Last week I was talking about chess. I still am playing very consistently. But I've realized being a generalist and trying to get really good at all these things at the same time is just, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? It's part of the challenge for me is focusing on one thing. Bro, it's a double-edged sword being into a lot of stuff, because it's good that you're into a lot of things, but that comes with the challenge of narrowing down, and it's hard, right, to accept the fact that, okay, I'll put this off for later, I'll work on this at a later point in my life. But everything is kind of like that, what is it, the shiny object sort of, I think it's shiny object theory or something. We're doing something and then we see the next shiny object and then we want to go pursue that rather than refine and craft, mold the thing that we're currently working on. But, there's some things that are always consistent no matter what. That being those things are my designs. This week I've been having a lot more cool thoughts on just imagery. And I don't know what they really mean, right? But they're just ideas that are coming to my head. I'll give you guys a couple examples. I posted this one picture. I'll actually pull it up right here. I posted this one picture, and it was it's this graphic I designed, and it's no smoking, like a no sign, but for the no smoking. And to be honest with you, I don't know why I thought of the idea, but it reminds me of this one conversation I had with my one of my good friends, and we were talking about this one of these album covers I had designed. And he was saying, and it was a very simple cover, and the conversation went along the lines of if I designed that, and he was talking about himself, he was if I designed that, I don't think I would like it, or I don't think I could pull it off. And that made me think, like, the design is one thing, but the confidence you bring to present it and the way you present it is what makes the design so great, right? Like any design is trash. It's like that water bottle analogy. It's like a water bottle like changes value depending on the environment it's in. Like, it's worth more at a football game than it is, I don't know, like by the fucking ocean or some shit. It's worth more in places where water is hard to find. So, according to that same logic, it's like if you treat the design like it matters, then people will feel like it matters. Like, intent is a large part of the battle in bringing a provocative design. But yeah, like, another thing I've been thinking about is, like, these YouTube videos. Like, right now, right? It's 3 a.m. I should have recorded this like earlier on in the day today, but I was just swamped with homework and other things to do. But I'm kind of liking that candid nature. I mean, that's the idea of the videos, right? Is like, it's supposed to be like super candid. And I've been thinking, like, I want to edit these where I'm kind of showing glimpses of other things, that like clips throughout the week. So it's almost like a voiceover. Like, maybe right now there would be a cut, and then it would show like something I'm doing, and then me like voicing over it, and no sound in that original clip. So that's something I'm toying with. And along that same topic of toying with things, bro, I'm really like imagining. I mean, this takes a lot of work, but I always like to think, if I can think it, it can be done, right? That's a huge part of my belief, is like, where are these thoughts coming from? If I'm thinking them, then they're divine and it can be done. And one of the things I think about is like fusing mediums together super consciously. You know how I talked about DJing? It's like, I want to be able to like make a beat and then put it in the DJ software and mix it with other beats that I make. You know what I'm saying? And then taking that a step further, like putting vocals maybe on that beat, putting out a song, and then mixing it in the DJ software, and then putting out like a mix, like a club mix version to it. Or even like, making like an original set of beats, like how we were talking about Virgil earlier, is like his DJ sets is like making my own original like set that I make the beats, and then you use it and you transition it and then make it a score for like a short film. Like, these are the things I think about. And then a step further, like, make clothing designs that are inspired from short films. My brand is Building Worlds, right? Like, that's been something that I've been really going hard on, and that's the whole idea of the whole thing, is like using different mediums to build worlds. Like, in the last video I was talking about the forest that I dream about, and I haven't been getting as many dreams about it since that last video, but I'm still so captivated by it. And if you could imagine what I was talking about, fusing mediums together with that whole like setting, that forest setting, it's like, imagine like a short film with like, like a kid in a forest or something, and he's biking through, and I'm making sounds and beats that resemble what you see there. So I'm capturing it visually, I'm representing it through sound, and then I'm even designing like garments that go along with that too. It's like the epitome of your modern day creative, right? And I've been so fascinated by creatives recently, like Virgil, and also historic creatives. Like, dude, I watch a lot of YouTube, right? And a question I get a lot is like, what do I watch on YouTube? And my algorithm is like, it's like all over the place these days. It's a lot of chess, it's a lot of poker, but it's a lot of, in like more recently, very recently, a lot of like religion and art. One of the most famous paintings in the world, The Last Supper by Da Vinci. I'll be honest, like, I didn't know the story of The Last Supper. Like a few days ago, I finally watched a video on like the story of the Bible, and like just the whole story, like what it's all about, like Adam and Eve, and the forbidden tree, and just that ladder of sin, like, you know what I mean, like the children they have, like everyone ends up sinning, and like Jesus's role and all that. And when it got to the point in the Last Supper, it was so beautiful, right? Because the dude is all knowing. He knows that one of them is going to be tempted by Satan to betray him. And I didn't know that originally, when I first saw that painting, The Last Supper, you know what I mean? But now that I know that history behind it, it gives the painting a whole different meaning to me. And that's why I'm really happy about the rabbit hole I'm going down as far as like religion, because I want to understand, I want to get to that a good level of understanding about all these religions, because the artists of those times that represent, those philosophies and ideas, they like art works in context with other things, right? Because if you take the painting just by itself, you're assessing it on its technical elements. If you don't have like the context around it, right? Like you're looking at the colors, the composition, like how does this look to the eye? But it gets a whole new meaning when you get all the stuff around it. Like the time it was made in, what was the artist thinking, who did they make it for, what's point in their life were they in. That's what gives the whole thing meaning, right? Yeah, so that's why I really look forward to learning as much as I can with like religion and all those things. Along that same topic of design, I was having a conversation with one of my boys, like I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and we were talking about design philosophy, and this kind of goes along with that same idea of like the stuff around it, right? Because I'll give you like, so I'm in this like class, right? I talk about it, this public policy class, and we have this project that we need to do. It's like a business proposal, and we have to like make a company, all that. Our company is about like organ donors. All that stuff isn't important. It's really cool, but it's not important to what I'm trying to get at. I had to design a logo. My group, of course, like made me be the one to design the logo, because that's fitting. Like, who else would do that, right? So I designed the logo, and the ideas that my peers in the group were telling me to make, like, they were good ideas, but it wasn't in accordance to how I design. It was like a lot of your played out motifs when you think of like a healthcare brand or like an organ brand. It's like some hands holding, like a heart somewhere in there. So our company is called LifeBridge, and so I wanted to make something that was like, it like told the name, but it was visually different, and it was visually appealing, and it also followed my design principles, which is, make it grounded, make it make sense, and make it transparent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make it very concise, but still like gives off something. And I'll show you guys what I designed. Here it is. So you can kind of see. But the idea here is that it's representative of like an infinity. So like this right here. I'm not sure if this can focus, but like you see that infinity. So these are some of the sketches I made. And so I wanted to like make the bridge with the infinity and the gradient of the reds, like, you know what I mean? And so what I'm trying to get at is like, you get a lot more clarity in your design approach, and not even clarity, I would say, is like direction. Direction is the word I'm looking for. You get a lot more sense of direction in your designs when you have design principles. And what I was referencing a conversation I had with my boy, right? Because he was designing some garments of his own, and I was just telling him, I was like, you know, think of what like appeals to you. It's instinctually, like the way I make designs, the way I came about my design philosophy was just taking a good, honest and earnest look at what I like. And the way I do that is just by being exposed and not working too hard to decide what I'm gonna like, right? Like not thinking like I have to like this or I have to like that. Rather, I see something, and if I'm gravitated towards it, if I feel the pull, if I feel that intensity, that tension there when I view something, then I know it's something that I need to latch onto and I need to consider. And there's so many things that you could look at when you talk about exposure, right? Is like, you think about like color palettes or typographies or outfits or settings like deserts, cities, you know what I mean? So there's so many things, like me being in this room, even like I could think of like, you know, what's pulling me in this room. People at times I find like don't really consider exposure to include what am I trying to say? I guess I'm trying to say people don't consider everything that they're able to consider when it comes to exposure, right? They think exposure is like movies or songs you listen to, and they think like because they're not an avid movie watcher that they can't get inspired. But the inspiration is everywhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's it for me this week. This week has been just more of the same, but I guess more of the same just means like sharpening. You know what I'm saying? Like things to work on really is just like narrowing down, but not narrowing down in the sense that I'm forgetting. It's just like for my own good, right? Is like stick on one thing. Like I'm still making beats and stuff. Like that's all a given. But you know, there's this one quote. I forget who said it, but it was like something along the lines of concentration is the absence of all the other unrelated things. It's something along the lines of that. Concentration isn't really locking in on one thing. It's getting rid of all the other things. And so I'm really I'm really thinking about that as I move forward, because like I said, like DJing is cool. That whole idea of like fusing mediums together is great. It's cool. But you know, I gotta hone on a couple things, right? Or else nothing will get anywhere. So yeah, that's basically it. What time is it? 3:32. So when did I start this? 3:13. 20-minute video, I think. Anyway, with that being said, guys, did I give the whole intro? Life Update 6, Abhiram Chaganty. It is current. Yeah, I think I did. Anyway, with that being said, guys, 3:33, Abhiram Chaganty out.